Salve Forth Paladins, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates PostBattle. I am Admiral Tarek of the Dreadnought HMS Hood as we continue our war of revenge against the Klingon Empire, or what's left of it at any rate. As you can see, the entire southern half of the Klingon Empire has been absorbed by the Hygiene Star Kingdom. We're doing quite well out here, even though we have, well, lost dreadnoughts and battleship carriers to star bases, which are just, frankly, nearly unstoppable. We almost lost the Hood to a star base because we got a little bit too close, and then we spent 10 minutes shelling it. Well, not quite that long. It wasn't that bad of an episode. But we are once again back in Stardock here at 810, on top of this little base station that we managed to capture, luckily for us. And we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 tiles left. I wonder if we'll be able to beat this before 30. Well, not if we keep whinging on. So let's go check the shipyard. It has become the year 2303, which is the cutoff for the X-type ships. They start coming into service. And so still not here on the list yet. We have an XBS, but that's a battle station. Can't move it. Can't really do much with it. Let's push out into space. Let's go kick some butt. And unfortunately, we do have to step onto this territory because it's here. Yes, nebulas are bad places to be for, well, both my favorite race and this race. Nebulas, the shields don't work. I'm just going to be right up front with that. In a nebula, your shields, they will only operate at minimum power. Which is bad if you're a gigantic battleship like we are. Okay, we're not a battleship, we're just a dreadnought, but you get the idea. If you play as the Hydrons, you have the problem of that launching fighters into the soup, and I don't think you even can, they would take damage. And if you play as the Marak, your missiles constantly take damage as they fly through this, well, crap. So, yeah, we've lost about, I don't want to say a third of our firepower, simply because we're a fairly decent dreadnought, but we have lost a kind of significant amount of firepower, and it makes all of our weapons super inaccurate. As you can see, we have a defense shift of 2 and attack shift of 3. So I'm guessing he's powering up ECCM. Let's go over to this screen. Yeah, he's put out 2 points of ECCM to try and burn off some of this crap. We're actually going to do probably the same at some point. Yeah, this is not a great situation to be in if you're in a fairly large vessel. Looks like we have a freighter, a freighter, a freighter, a light cruiser, the freighter, and a freighter. So a 6-ship convoy and a single light cruiser escort. We're going to increase our speed because we do have to get there sort of in time to do something about it. We do have a hell of a punch. That shouldn't be underestimated. And in fact, we're going to overload the phasers to make sure that punch hits as hard as it possibly can. So just make sure that we have selected on all of our phaser X's the overload switch. We have. So yeah, when we hit him, we could potentially kill him. We can't put any power into shields, I don't believe. So let's quickly. Oh wow, he's really trying to shove in the ECCM. Let's shove in 6 points of ECM, 2 points of ECCM, so we'll drop down to 4 because you can't have. You have a maximum of 6 electronic warfare points, and you can spend them however you wish. So we'll close it tight. Oh, if you do this turn, I'm just going to slam you at point-blank range from behind, and that's the shot! We didn't hit a lot of stuff. We only did 126 damage to him. His speed has gone down, and we're going to continue to turn off to starboard. Wow, his speed has really fallen. In fact, if you don't pick up much faster than that, yeah, I'm going to push on. Screw you. Goodbye, friend! Yeah, okay, so 0 power here, 0 power here. We don't need it anymore. We're just going to soar into these guys and light them up with our phasers. He has fired a missile. He has fired a fast missile. Tractor beams, do we have them? Do they work? They do not work. Okay, so no tractor beams here. So this freighter has just caused damage to us, which is kind of impressive. Shield reinforcement doesn't work. Accuracy is bad. Fighters can't be deployed. And missiles blow up. So this is all around a bad place to be. We have also lost a point of power, so it looks like this Paladin class dreadnought suffers from a similar problem to a lot of Klingon vessels. How fast is he going? 6.7. Oh, he's having a bad day. I'm going to hit you with a nice big phaser barrage when I get a chance. He is equipped with 3 phaser X's, which is not insignificant. I mean, if he gets a good shot in, he could really hurt us. Do I just go back for you and then wipe you out in another blast? No. No, we're going to save the time. Oh, I didn't realize Didn't realize that we weren't charging anything because we were soaring along at maximum speed. We're going to come in here. We have the power to burn, so let's put the 2-4 setup. So 2 points of ECCM. Yep. Okay, so we only need 1 point of ECCM to reduce the attack shift a bit. And we'll also use 4 points of ECM. Maybe we can get up to an additional layer. Maybe not. If we get up to a 4 and it doesn't change its defense shift to a 4, which I don't think we can because we need to put in 16 points of power to do that, then we'll drop that down. And he's picked up to a speed of 8. Ooh, he wants it. He wants to get back involved. Kind of want to increase speed. Increase the speed of time. Just because we have a little bit of time and we want to get up here. Am I going slow or are you going fast? Yeah, we're not affecting the ECM rate at all. We're going to ignore that. Slow back down the speed of time. Select all phasers. And kill this little guy. We need to patch the engines again. And we lost a phaser X. Ugh, I hate nebula missions, but this had to be done. Like, this is a mission that you just really can't avoid doing. Well, you could. If we surrounded all the tiles that this one is around. So if we were to surround this tile with all of our friendly tiles, we might be able to just wipe them out. Naturally, the game, as it upticked, would just automatically destroy the target. That might have been a way to avoid this. But, well, I want to finish this soon, and I don't want to have to turn back around. So range is 3.3. We're closing in. He fired his phaser 3s. It did nothing. Another target destroyed. Oh, we have to get super close in order to fire our weapons with any accuracy. Because we are required to fire pretty much our entire phaser complement in order to break these ships. But once we're super close, the flashback damage basically hurts ourselves. So, not tremendously great. And with this guy skulking around back here, I do kind of want to save my heavy weapons. I think I'm going to turn back and blow him out of the water. But how many freighters are left? 3? You know what? I'm going to avoid him. I'm just going to avoid him. I'm going to avoid you for now and just continue to blast away at these guys. So he's got a sufficiently high ECM shift. Let's put more points in ECCM. I want to overcome it as best I can. Range is closing. He's picked up a speed to 12, so he's going to start getting kind of close to us. So if I were to fire from this range here, just enough, okay, and it's outside the self-detonation range. So we can fire from about a range of 3, we'll blow up the ships, but we won't kill ourselves. It does take our entire phaser complement to do that, but it might be worth it. Turning around, he's up to a speed of 10. We're lined up. And I don't think the phasers are going to be armed in time. Fusion beams. I'm going to let him pass by. I'm going to hit him with the phasers on the pass. Wasn't enough to kill him. There we go. That was enough to kill him. So, trying to get our side away from him. His shields are back up. He does have pretty much his entire complement of heavy weapons to go with, too. Hellbores. Fusions. Everything else. Huh. That didn't work. Although, I suppose part of it was because of our oblique firing angle. So, taking a little bit of self-damage there. I think we are at full power. And he is not. He's doing 2.2. Let's slow down a bit. We need to get some of this back here. And let's overload these phasers again. So that we hit him like a truck. I don't think the phasers have stopped being on overload. I really should go back and like check to see what our normal phaser speed is. But not in this nebula. So at a range of 3, we'll open fire on this guy again, and then we'll just pull up on his buddy and wipe him out. Incoming missiles. Our phasers are fully ready for this. It may take a little bit more missiles than normal, but as you can see, they're dying a little bit because they're not able to handle this kind of environment. 3 is now. There we go. Able to kill him. And increase the speed of time. And pull into a range of 3. Wasn't able to kill him. So we'll pull away a bit. There we go. So we took probably more damage than we wanted, but probably as little damage as we possibly could have. That is a difficult mission to kind of pull off. And not take damage. Just especially with a race like us where we have to get so close. So 316 prestige. The tile is neutral. We are going to hop back home. We're going to check the shipyard just in case. I'm looking for an XCA if you don't mind. And here it is. Haha! Buy it. Buy that ship now. HMS Celerity, which is not a bad name for a ship. Let's go to the shipyard. No, supply yard. 43 points of damage, so we need to patch up. The Celerity is now our new bestest buddy. And we could use one of these. And do we need any spare parts? We do. Yeah, we used quite a few spare parts to patch that up. So we'll quickly buy a whole bunch of spare parts here. Done with that. A whole bunch of Marines. Done with that. You could use some more spare parts. Done. Oh, reset it, not done. Done with that. Fighters, I'm going to leave him on the whatever he came with, because I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with constantly having to restock his fighters, costing me an arm and a leg. So let's push back out into space now that we have brought an X-type cruiser with all the prestige that is worth. They're actually surprisingly cheap ships. Like, X-type ships I think are probably the most efficient in terms of bang for your buck, because they just deal so much damage. We can go on a standard patrol. I'm tempted to hop over into the Celerity, because I'm worried that it's going to get blown up. Look at it! Look at that ship. Let's quickly drop this down to half, just so that we know how much power we actually have to play with. And it's pretty significant. We are escorted today, of course, by USS Thresher, a drone cruiser with a MIRV. Holy crap! You can spit out a lot of firepower. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shots from him. That is not insignificant by any stretch of the imagination, although he's a little bit limited in being able to do that. That's an ARAC, so it runs out of ammo extra quick. We are facing a DWN, which is a heavy cruiser, and another heavy cruiser. Are you both? No, you're a D5, and you are the actual DWN with all your weirdness. Needs a bit of a texture update. Just saying. And is it just the two heavy cruisers? It looks like it, so we're going to set course. Take another look at the Celerity. As you can see, he is equipped with 2 heavy phaser A mounts, 2 G2s, which are essentially phaser 1s, but Gatling phaser style, so extra long range. He's then got an additional 8 phaser 1s, 3 Hellbores on, I think, a half mount? I think that's a half mount. And then 2 additional fusion beams, and his last 2 G-type phasers, because every single Hydrogen ship has to have at least 2 phasers that are of the G-type. That's not insignificant. It is perhaps not the most powerful of the X-series. The X-series ships just bring an absolute metric ton of firepower, and really when it comes down to Hydrons, though, the most we kind of get is we get G2s. So heavy phaser A's are on Federation ships, some Klingon ships too, I think. And so they're basically just a disruptor in terms of how they're actually used. They're not amazing. So there is that. Our heavy cruiser X-type vessel is not quite as cool as it potentially could be. Although there is, of course, that. The ability to fire Gallic phasers at super long range. I'm a little annoyed that he's firing at super long range, and I may start fleet ordering it so that he's not allowed to shoot until I tell him to shoot. He, after all, does not have missiles that'll mess up that targeting. But we'll find out in a little bit. Closing a bit closer. We are not overloading. So slam into him. He's down to pretty much nothing. The fighters take care of him. Come to port. Target the DWN. We have incoming fire. Defensive tractors are active. Excellent. So we'll drop this down to 1. We only need the 1. And the drone cruiser, the Thresher, just spitting out the fire. Unfortunately, because they're slow drones, they just don't have the speed to go after him. I mean, as you can see, even once he used the MIRV, his drones are currently set to a speed of 16. That's not particularly great. We can increase speed just a little bit. This is not increasing the firepower quite as much as I would want, just because he doesn't have the super big heavy weapons that, well, not that he would normally have, because this is what he'd normally have, but what other X-type ships normally would have. Although I suppose Klingon ships are sort of in the same boat. They do get the heavy disruptor, though. But that just gives them essentially photon torpedoes. So we'll swirl on in. Heading straight in. Oh, you're going to get not all barrels, but a significant enough blast of barrels. And if you continue to run in that direction, you're then going to get that. Yeah. We could switch out to an entire X-type sort of armament. That would give us fewer Hellbores, fewer of our heavy weapons, but it would give us the G2s. It is the question, do we want to just basically become giant phaser boats? Which we could do, but is that something we really want to aim for? I would argue no. Heavy weapons are cool. So this may be the campaign where we really try and keep our big ships alive for a long time. Unless, you know, the game decides to come in from out of nowhere and just lightning ball it, like it did to the Killing Song. I'm still a little bit annoyed about the Killing Song. It's like, we had this battleship, it was amazing, and suddenly the game was like, no, you don't get that battleship. It is no longer amazing for you. So we can do a speed of, wow, 19. So the additional power grid on this ship allowing us to go quite fast. Although at the sacrifice of not being able to charge our heavy weapons at maximum speed. Or our phasers at maximum speed. We're looking at D7EX, which is not horrible. I mean, it does improve the X-type phasers, which I do believe will improve the collar phasers, and that's kind of a big deal when it comes to Klingon ships. We are going to tell you that one. So that way he will target who I target, and he will only shoot when I tell him to shoot, which will help him immensely with how much firepower he's about to put forward. Unlike, you know, a Merak ship, which firing at long range is perfectly acceptable because it allows you to basically kick more salvos out into space, in this sort of energy-armed ship, it would be a really bad idea to continually fire fusion beams at absolute maximum range. So we're going to try and tell him not to do that. Let's close right on the target. You should be behind me. Oh no, we are in line abreast. I should probably set him to Echelon. Yeah, Echelon left would have been more useful here, or maybe... No, we are set to the... Yeah, we're set to Chevron, which is kind of weird. So hit him with everything he's got. That was enough. Next target. And we can charge all these weapons doing a speed of 19. We didn't even have to use our... didn't even have to use an overload for that. So 2 ships able to basically just joust the Klingons to death with our super short range lance, but it's still quite effective. So an EDWX, fairly powerful vessel. Not really. He's got 4 disruptors, a single missile launcher, and then 6 phaser X's, or no, 4 phaser X's and 2 phaser 3s. Cute. Unfortunately, my friend has decided that he wants to waste his fighters, which is not cool. Not happy about it. Close to point-blank range. All the phasers. We did take a heavy weapon directly to the nose. You can fire all your heavy weapons too. And in fact, I'm going to order you fire on your command. You have to maintain my target, but you can shoot whatever you want. He does have G-type G-type phasers, G2 phasers, not just G2 phasers. So he does have a little bit more sort of a ranged option when it comes to that. So as we curl in, I think we want to try a long range Hellbore shot. Oh no, but if he's going to curl into us, we're definitely going to just let him do that. Nope. It'll do 36. We need to do more. I do want to kind of kill him on this run. Because it's impressive when you can just sort of kill him in 1.5 gun runs. And we have all our weapons ready to fire. So it would be churlish to not fire the fusion beams. Boom. And then we just blast through the mine that he dumped out. He was like, no, don't kill me. See, a mine, you have to evade. We're not the AI. We understand that we can take mines to a fully reinforced shield. And how's that going to do for us in terms of prestige? 204, not bad. Does flip the tile, so we are continuing to push our way north. Hop through here, just briefly. Shipyard, is there another X-ship? There is another X-cruiser. I'm not going to buy it, though, because buying it would mean that I would have to sell the hood. And I don't want to, 1, risk that, because that's a dangerous transaction to attempt. And 2, the hood... Or not the hood. Yeah, the hood is a decent enough ship to want to keep. It's powerful. It has 4 Hellbores. It's great. Losing that in favor of G2s, not quite my speed. I'll check out the heavy bombardment cruiser, see if that brings anything more. And it might. If it's got like 6 Hellbores, I'll definitely swap over to that. Because Hellbores are amazing. But if not, then we may just end this campaign sailing in the hood, unless we can get something bigger. Which is entirely possible. I mean, we could possibly save up enough cash by the time this campaign ends. Likely? No, not really. Another 2 heavy cruisers. So we've got another little heavy cruiser squadron going over here. It's a DDW and a DDW. Are you lying to me? Oh no, so we've got a frigate. Something is wrong. This is not updating properly. A frigate and 2 heavy cruisers. So, oh, okay, so we're in that weird mission where it's like 3-sided conflict. Suddenly they shut up. Crap. My command only, please. I kind of needed you to work with me here instead of working against me. So this is a nice little Klingon heavy cruiser squadron. So, or not heavy cruiser squadron, but it's a nice squadron of things. I do like how the D series of ships with their looks are quite impressive looking. So he has launched a pretty significant amount of weapons. Of course, the hood not caring at all, cutting through the enemy without any problems whatsoever. We'll sell him that he can now shoot whatever the heck he wants, because quite frankly, he's probably going to get into position before we do. We're kind of slow at the helm. So as you can see, managing to nail some long-range shots, well, medium-range shots with his elbows, and doing the jerk maneuver, where he just dumps a mine on top of him. Oh, he was maneuverable enough to keep us away from being able to target him directly, but not so maneuverable that he could avoid being shot at by, you know, all of our phasers. Which we do have a pretty significant number of phasers, with decent enough arcs as long as we're aiming forward. So, frigate has no more power. Oh, just such a jerk. The captain of the Celerity learned from the very best screw you school, allowing us to knife through the enemy and annihilate them. We didn't even lose our shields in that one, which is good. Means we don't have to go back for repairs. We want to be moving as quickly as we possibly can to blast our way through the remaining Klingon territories. After all, we're almost finished with them. 344 prestige, excellent. The tile is neutral, and we do see an enemy starbase. They are down to how many tiles at this point? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 3 of those tiles are basically just in Lyran territory. Oh, they're not going to last much longer. Even the Federation got involved in stealing some of their planets. So I'm going to guess there's probably a starbase here and a starbase here. Maybe. But that will have to be saved for another episode because we're going to end it right here. Anyway, I've been Derek. If you want... Yeah, I totally messed that up. If you liked what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I release one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next episode. Will we finish this before 30?